Welcome everyone around the world to this year's Global Blue Flame Planetary Grid Ceremony on the September Equinox. I'm White Eagle Medicine Woman.
And I'm Michaela Baumgartner.
And we are with the Whirling Rainbow Foundation, an international nonprofit organization promoting unity, peace, and earth sustainability. And we are excited about this year's ceremony since so many more people are joining us from around the world. We've introduced this ceremony now at 3 different levels, which we'll go into in this video. But first, let's explain to all the new people what is the blue flame.
The blue flame, you might know this from welding, is the hottest flame, the hottest fire that can literally change one form to another. It is a purifying fire. And when we do this ceremony, we don't invoke a literal fire. We invoke an energetic fire of purification and transformation on the planetary grid. The words that are associated with the blue flame are truth, transparency, divine will, and renewal. In some spiritual traditions, this flame is associated with Archangel Michael.
And this blue flame, this hot blue flame that we energetically send to purify the grid of Mother Earth for her own renewal and the renewal of all life on Earth, is connected to a grid that we're using for the blue flame. And what is wonderful about this planetary grid is that it's available to you on Google Earth. You can download Google Earth and download what's called the UVG grid. And you can see this beautiful grid around Mother Earth and how it was discovered, or actually rediscovered, because many of the ancient sacred sites of the world are located on this grid. And it was a beautiful anthropologist and an amazing consciousness activator, Beth Hagins, who came up with this concept that inside the earth is nestled all the original shapes of the platonic solids. Here we go. Back to like chemistry, biology, and everything else. But these 5 platonic solids are encased in our earth in a particular patterning that allows us to see all the sacred sites connecting, all of the major rivers connecting, all of the major anomalies of the planet, one of which we call the Devil's Graveyards, or Bermuda Triangle being that place where things disappear. All of these places were found on this gridding. And so they made it available to us to be able to activate from 62 locations this matrix, this grid. And if you know that around the earth is what has always been termed the World Wide Web, this web of network that we are now calling the UVG planetary grid. And so we're inviting leaders of different levels to be able to participate in this ceremony where we say a prayer and we activate all of the planetary grid for truth, transparency, divine will, and renewal. So let's talk about those 3 levels that we introduced this year to all of our grid point leaders that have been working with us for years doing the full day ceremony. Now, for those that don't have the same amount of time, we have some other available options to still join this ceremony so that thousands of us can be united.
So you can do this beautiful ceremony in 3 levels. The first level, the beginner level, is to just do the ceremony, the prayer, the invocations at home with yourself or your family, and to just really follow those instructions very easily of a commitment doing an energetic, intentional prayer for this day of ceremony. The next level, intermediate, is you do the same ceremony as mentioned at the beginner level, but you will also take notes of what you're tuning in for each grid point in the ceremony. We already have a fantastic map of what's happening in each of the 62 grid points from doing the ceremony since 2012, and we have a map that gives us an idea of resources on the planet, resources and also challenging areas. And with all 62 combined, we can shift dynamics on the planet, but not really on the planet on the planet itself, but more the consciousness of humanity, because we are the ones who are getting back into alignment with Mother Earth. In the third and more advanced level, which is what we've been doing since 2012, is grid point leaders committed to doing the full fire ceremony with offerings into a fire, offerings to Mother Earth. And you can explain more about that.
Well, I think you hit it on the head, because the main issue of the blue flame ceremony is purifying ourselves. And you'll hear that when you hear this beautiful blue flame prayer, is that we're really trying to align ourselves to the power of Mother Earth. And as she mentioned, we have been mapping through the grid points Mother Earth's body and what's happening on it. Not only to personally resource that energy for our own lives, but also to give back to Mother Earth and charge those areas that we know they hold specific energies for the planet. And our blue flame leaders, they've been so devoted to do this all-day fire ceremony. It's a literal ceremony of fire in their yard, in their community, where we pray for every single grid point and tune in and take notes and things like that. And you can click the link below in this email, and you can get information about joining at any level, as well as our entire Drum for Change global network, which is in thousands of locations, joins us drumming on this day as well.
In this third level, the most advanced level of doing the blue flame ceremony, you will host a community event, really inviting your community into this ceremony with a fire ceremony, bringing offerings, lots of offerings to feed Mother Earth, just like the Peruvian Quero shamans and Quechua people do all the time in South America, is give back to the Mother Earth with what she feeds us year round. And you feed that fire with your intentions, but also your literal offerings.
Yeah, and we took this idea, or we expanded upon this idea, because of our countless journeys in Central America and South America, where they do these fire ceremonies and make offerings into the fire for Mother Earth and for everything that's going on. It's kind of a prayer before we ask for anything, as we give gratitude. So this is a big day of gratitude to Mother Earth. And for those that feel capable of being a grid point leader, you can join, and you'll get 6 hours of audio and PDFs and everything to give you the entire background to the depth of this ceremony and the depth of the planetary grid. But anyone can join us with this beautiful blue flame prayer and praying for each of the 62 grid points that are in your free instruction book. So as we close this and welcome you into this year's ceremony, I'd like to close it with the blue flame prayer. And Michaela, thank you for accompanying me on the flute for this beautiful prayer for Mother Earth, and mostly, again, our alignment to be stewards of the garden. I now activate and enliven with the blue flame of truth, transparency, divine will, and renewal. All 62 grid points of the planetary grid. Illuminate within me. Purify in innocence. Purify in power. Purify in strength. Purify in wisdom. Purify in truth. Purify in grace. All aspects of my being. I am that I am. The divine heavenly blue fire. I am the blue fire. I am the blue fire. I am the blue fire.